Ubisoft has had a history of remastering older Assassin's Creed titles, updating them for modern engines with new graphics and frame rates. And while that may be fine, I think personally that the first Assassin's Creed title doesn't just need a remaster, but I think it truly deserves itself a solid remake. Of course, I'm not the first person to say this, and I'm not the first person to think about this, but I do believe that in order for Assassin's Creed 1 to be enjoyed in its true potential, it needs to have a remake. Assassin's Creed released way back in 2007 and it was met with a very high reception. A lot of people really liked what Ubisoft had to offer and what Assassin's Creed seemed to be shaping up to. A stealth-focused, slightly open-world action-adventure game about an assassin in the Crusades seemed to be really interesting, intriguing, and attention-grabbing for a lot of people, myself included. Altair is a character that I've spoken about before, and I do think that he's one of the best in the franchise. However, a lot of people don't really enjoy Altair's character because his main screen time is in the first Assassin's Creed, and well, the age of that game is starting to show. As much as I love Assassin's Creed, and I made a video a while back talking about how it's still an amazing game, I admitted in that video as well that it's really outdated in the way it's been formulated. Assassin's Creed 1 relies a lot on a repetitive formula. Essentially, Altair takes an assignment from Al-Mualim, Altair goes to the respective city, Altair heads to the Assassin's Bureau, Altair performs a few info-gathering tasks, Altair goes back to the Bureau, Altair goes to his target, Altair assassinates his target. And this is relatively the same thing across every single assassination target you have. There are some side things to do here and there, such as saving civilians, but this is also repetitive and pretty much the same everywhere you go in the map. I mean, the civilians all start to say the same 3 lines or so every time, so you can guess that it's not that enticing to do a lot either unless you care to 100% the game. There's flag collecting and synchronization, of course, but again, none of this is exactly varied or interesting for too long, and the flag collecting is tedious at best. And that's really Assassin's Creed's biggest flaw, repetition. Narratively, I don't think Assassin's Creed is a weak game. I actually like the story and I liked Altair's character. However, we can all admit that the gameplay and visuals are not up to par with other Assassin's Creed titles. And the issue with just simply remastering a game like this is that it won't get rid of all the major issues it has. It will just make the game flow a bit nicer and make it look slightly better, but let's face it, Ubisoft's remasters haven't always been the best. I don't know about you guys, but I think the original Assassin's Creed 3 somehow looks better than the remastered. I got the remastered with the season pass for Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it was included, so I downloaded it to play it, but I was quite shocked to see that the remaster was that underwhelming. The first Assassin's Creed is also mechanically outdated. I don't really see how a remaster would just fix these issues. A remaster wouldn't really help overhaul these systems because the core of the gameplay won't change. Coupled with the repetitive nature of the game, it doesn't really do much justice. In my eyes, the first Assassin's Creed needs to have a remake, because I think with modern engines, graphics, mechanics, and systems, it can be an absolutely amazing game that I think almost all Assassin's Creed fans would enjoy. Expanding the story and including more of Altair's early life would also be really interesting to see. I don't want comics about Altair's life, I want to see real and immersive gameplay because I think his story is intense and intriguing. I'm not saying that it needs to be like a major sequence or a grand majority of the game, but it could be something like what Valhalla did with Eivor and how we saw Eivor's turning point when his village got attacked and his parents were killed. Obviously, this helped to characterize Eivor. Something similar to this would be cool to see for Altair, as it would provide more context, characterization, and background. I know that Assassin's Creed Mirage is promising to be a similar feeling to the original Assassin's Creed, so that might make Ubisoft ignore remaking the first Assassin's Creed, but I think that the first Assassin's Creed has its own charm and its own feel that can't be replicated or replaced by another character. Basim may have come before Altair, but I do think that Altair is his own person and deserves more than what was given to him, especially considering the fact that the assassins as we know it after Altair would have never been the same without him. What could make an Assassin's Creed remake great is fixing up those repetitive sequences and giving more time for the enemies to appear and be fought. The map could be more interactive with more immersive side missions and quests to play through. I think a remake could help with giving more weight and room to the narrative aspects of the Assassin's Creed story as well. We could have more interactions between Altair and his fellow assassins, and show more of Altair's interactions with citizens. It would be cool to have a map similar to that of Origins or Odyssey, but with less side quests and empty space. There could be more cities to explore in the region aside from Acre, Jerusalem, and Damascus, as well as Masyaf. I believe a remake could also benefit in showing more of the historical setting and the Crusades. The Crusades were very impactful on medieval history, and I think giving it more weight to the story would have made more sense, since the Hashashin, who the assassins are based off of, were heavily involved in the Crusades. It would make more sense that Altair would be heavily involved as well. Additionally, having NPCs like what we had in AC Unity would be great. Unity benefited a lot from feeling so vibrant and having realistic crowd levels and a lot of NPCs. Engaging with NPCs would be cool as well. There could be things like saving citizens, but I obviously think that there needs to be more than just that. Assassin's Creed 1 is a game that I really think deserves more love because it really is such a great one. When I played it for the first time, I was instantly immersed. Although I could tell that it was graphically outdated when I picked it up, I knew it had the potential to be an even better game. I think Assassin's Creed was very much an experiment, and it was a foundation that helped to build the rest of the series. But now that Assassin's Creed has been around for over 15 years, I can't see why Ubisoft shouldn't give the first title a proper do-over. Really, as a core game, it's amazing, but the biggest issue has to be its repetitive nature. Even changing that up and beefing the map up more would dramatically change this game. I do think that Ubisoft may not give us a proper remake with the way they're moving forward. I feel lately like Ubisoft wants to distance the series from its roots and from its original narrative, which is why they're probably dropping the modern day story. It's a bit of an unfortunate thing because I think a lot of people can agree that the mashup between history, fantasy, and sci-fi was really intriguing. Even if Ubisoft doesn't want to include a lot of that narrative stuff anymore in Assassin's Creed 1, I can't see why it would be hard to remake it in the style of Mirage, where the game ignores the modern day and just dives right into the historical adventure if that's what they want to do. But let me know what you all think in the comments below. And with that being said, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe with notifications set to all. Don't forget to check out my sci-fi fantasy books and my newspaper. The links to those as well as all my other socials are in the description below. See you all next time, and Symbiosis out.